What's going on, phenomenal family? This is TG3 with another phenomenal Fatherhood Friday episode. Yeah, I'm just sitting here solo right now. You know what I mean? And I'm going through a new journey I thought I'd share with this new baby on the way. Baby's due in September. I got 3 kids already. They're 7, 8, and 9. And at that time, I didn't really have the podcast platform. Phenomenal Fatherhood wasn't at the point that it is today. So I really, really wanted to focus on getting more content around any dads that are brand new. They're going through this journey at the same time because now I'm in there with you. You know what I mean? I'm in the trenches with you. So as of today, the baby is 10 weeks. It's as big as a prune. And I'm getting this information from What to Expect When You're Expecting. It's an app that I downloaded. And you put in all the dates of everything, like when it happened, when the due date is, which I got directly from the doctor. So my fiance and I went to the doctor, did the ultrasound, and they give you the expected due date. And then from that expected due date, it'll tell you what the full term is. I want to say it's like somewhere between 40 weeks and 46 weeks, somewhere around there. So you know how much time you have to prepare. Right. And so that's really what I want to focus on today. Right now I'm in preparation mode. I'm trying to figure out how I can get CPR classes is a big one because it's been a long time since I did CPR class. So I want to make sure that by the time the baby gets here, that's number one. I'm kind of understanding what would happen if the baby choke or if something happens like that. I'm already trained on CPR and I've already got myself recertified, which is a big one. Right. But it's been crazy. You know what I mean? It's been crazy. When your wife or your significant other or whoever's in that first trimester, their body's going through a lot of changes. More than likely, they have morning sickness, which is going to wake you up as well. So, and actually, contrary to popular belief, it's a scientific fact that the male in the house is actually affected by the woman getting pregnant. Some people would say, "Oh, how is that?" Well, you could look it up. Basically, what happens is that because of that bond, it's like you feel more tired, like you feel like it's a little bit more lethargic. So you got to make sure you get your rest. I literally just took an hour nap because I was like so exhausted, bro. I've been working like 60 hours a week. And then I was like, I got to go ahead and take a nap. So make sure to listen to your body, take a nap when you eat, when you need to, and try to eat as healthy as you possibly can. Because at the end of the day, the better you fuel your body, the better your body's going to be able to fuel you. So that's a big tip right there. Um, but yeah, man, walking through this journey again. My youngest is 7 right now, and I've got a brand new baby on the way. But the cool part is that like you really get to see like the beauty in God. You know what I mean? Like when you really think about it, like a couple weeks ago, the baby was as big as a raspberry, and I was sitting here thinking like, dang, at one point I was as big as a raspberry, bruh. You know what I mean? Now it's like no matter how sophisticated you think you are, how many times you do your taxes, how many times you go to the gym and lift, 100 pounds or 300 pounds or whatever the case is, all these beautiful things that we do, and at one point we're just as big as a raspberry. So that I thought that was pretty cool and eye opening how just the whole pregnancy part and then seeing how the development of a child. And I actually recently learned that the first organ that forms in an embryo is the heart. So when you think about the heart pumping blood, really like the control center. Well, I guess the central nervous system would be the technically the control center, but the heart is like, pumping all the blood. And it's really, you can't have anything function without blood, right? So that's why blood pressure is so important, making sure you have good blood pressure, good cholesterol, all those things. But that's the first organ to form. So I'm gonna give y'all an update on what's going on this week, according to What to Expect When You're Expecting. Great app, but they do give you a lot of ads. So if you're somebody that's kind of like, wondering about that, you should definitely download the app. But before I get into what's going on this week with the baby, I want to let y'all know I have an announcement. So, guess what, guys? I actually took the time to make the Phenomenal Fatherhood Discord, and it's free, and it's free, and it's free. All you got to do is go to Discord and go to phenomenalfatherhood.com or just type in Phenomenal Fatherhood on Discord. We got child support talk. We got the healthy talk. We got meal ideas. I really want to build this community where dads are talking to other dads. We're going to have meetups. You know what I mean? Because like we gotta lean on each other sometimes, man. You know, we might go through a recession soon in the United States. Like, you know, dads are gonna be able to share those tips with each other. We just gotta really build that bond, and like iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. So it might be something that you know that I don't know. Like you might not have even known about what I just shared with you about the pregnancy. And guess what? I'll be able to share that with you. You'll be able to share stuff with me, and it all helps us be better fathers. And at the end of the day, if we're not coming together to support the betterment of the next generation, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? We can go out here and work. We can go out here and pay bills. We can go out here and play 2K, which I love 2K, by the way. Shout out to 2K. If you want to sponsor me, totally open to it. But in any case, yeah, we got to be better for the next generation because they're our future. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, you got AI moving into the mix. You got a lot of stuff coming out here with social media. Us being in their lives and being a prominent influence on how they think, how they operate, the character that they develop into is going to be paramount. And that can only happen when we get information from each other. Because otherwise, where are we getting it from? You know what I mean? And even better than that, you're getting it from somebody with personal experience. So that's beautiful. You know, I was talking to a dad the other day. I was talking to this dad the other day. He was like, man, you know, like, them girls are different, man. Them girls are different. He has 5 daughters. We just did an episode with this guy named Mike James. Shout out to Mike if you're watching this. Mike is also the name of our engineer. So shout out to Mike again, 2 Mikes. But yeah, Mike James, look him up. He's a former NBA player. He played for Larry Brown. He played for um, Pat Riley, played against Michael Jordan, played with Kevin Garnett. He played with like 3 or 4 different teams, maybe more. But at the end of the day, he made it to the NBA, which a lot of people can't say. All that rhymes, by the way. I just realized that. But yeah, so Mike James, man, shout out to you. He has 5 girls, and I was asking him about periods because I have 2 young girls, right? I have a daughter and I have a stepdaughter, so I'm nervous about it. I'm freaking out. You know what I mean? As a man, I'm like, bro, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But he was like, yeah, you know, just lean on the mom, ask her about that because that's her lane. Make sure you have like when they get around 11, 12, 13 years old, probably 11. If you're in the United States and you eat a traditional American diet, it's probably going to happen earlier just because of all the hormones that are in our food. I don't have time to go into that right now, but look that up and just pack a go bag. You know, they're going to school every day. Pack them a bag so they're prepared, so you're prepared, and kind of prep them for that conversation was the advice that he gave me because that's been something I've been super nervous about is just that whole time coming. Like that's having girls and building that bond with them and knowing that they're gonna, you know, have their cycle soon is just like it feels overwhelming. It feels overwhelming. So it was refreshing to me to talk to Mike and legitimately do this phenomenal fatherhood interview with him. And he was giving me some insights on that. So my whole point of that is that we jumped on a Discord. Guess what? You could talk to me about your situation. I could talk to you about your situation. And eventually I want to get it to the point where we have thousands of dads in there just building this community, right? And then you'll be the first to know about any of the Houston meetups that we do or when we do meetups in other cities, because that's coming as well. So wanted to drop that. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Phenomenal Fatherhood. So yeah, let's see what's going on with the baby this week. If anybody's in Houston and you're watching this, definitely reach out to us on phenomenalfatherhood.com because we got some special stuff for you guys. Let me see. Oh, that was last week. See, it was 8 weeks. At 8 weeks, the baby was as big as a raspberry. 9 weeks, the baby's as big as a green olive. 10 weeks, the baby is as big as a prune, right? And then next week, March 7th, it'll be as big as a strawberry. So let's see if there's a way to, oh yeah, I got to click on this. All right, so if you're 10 weeks, so at 10 weeks of pregnancy, you're in 3 months of your pregnancy, only 6 months left to go. Your baby's growth is fast and furious. When you are 10 weeks pregnant, he or she is nearly 1.5 inches long and the size of a prune, but not nearly as shriveled. Not nearly as shriveled, even with all the time spent in water. That is funny. So this week, Your baby is taking a human shape now. Bones and cartilage are forming with small indentions on the legs and developing into knees and ankles. The arms, complete with eyebrows, can flex already. How magical is that? So your baby can literally do this at 10 weeks. Shout out to The Rock. I don't know how you do the other one where you like hold it down and it's like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Dun, 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 dun. That's back to my wrestling days. Anyway, got sidetracked. So yeah, but let's be honest for a second here. All right, because I'm freaking out. Like I'm not freaking out, but at the same time, I'm like, man, we got to prepare because I know what comes with that, right? I know all the different changes. My oldest is 9, so I know basically 0 to 9 how that goes. So my main mindset right now is just how can I get prepared financially? How can I get prepared mentally? How can I get prepared physically? I've been working out at least, 1 to 3 times a week. I haven't really had as much time to work out. I've had periods in my life where I worked out 6 days a week. And at the end of the day, for me, it's all about efficiency and effectiveness. If I can get in there 3 times a week, I'm doing good, and I can still feel my energy levels sustained to a certain point where I can make sure I take care of the whole household and all my business as well, because I run a business as well. So, yeah, man, I think that phenomenal fatherhood. A lot of people talk about dad life after the baby's here, but I don't really see too much out there about like before the baby gets here. But like I said, for sure the CPR. Now that I know a a lot more about the journey I'm about to go into, if you're putting together like a baby registry, I'd highly recommend getting a baby sanitizer. I think two of the best things I got with my firstborn was a baby sanitizer and a swing. Shout out to Jeremy Hall. He got me a really, really good swing, which I've talked about before. And what that does is it allows the baby to sleep. Some of the best advice I ever got when the baby got here with my firstborn was that the nurse told me, she's like, you sleep when the baby sleeps. And the reason why that's so important is because otherwise you won't have any other time to sleep. But there's this huge temptation that comes with that. Like as soon as the baby sleep, you're like, oh, I could play the game. Oh, I can wash these dishes. Oh, I could do this proposal. Oh, I could do insert whatever activity you want to think about. But instead, you need to go ahead and get that rest in, because if you do one of those things that I just said or something else at 3 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning, when you get woken up, you're going to be like, dang it, I should have just slept. So that's a huge, huge tip. So now that I know what I'm going through, having a really good swing, and the baby sanitizer is like these bottles, right? So like, let's say you got formula or you have breast milk and it's in these bottles. I do recommend Dr. Brown bottles because they seem to have a lot less gas. Or I think it's Dr. Bronner. No, Dr. Bronner is a different doctor. It's Dr. Brown. They're like blue and white bottles, but they cause a lot less gas, which makes the baby happier because they're not full of gas or whatever. But anyway, you get the bottles, you get the nozzles, you put them in this like big dishwasher looking thing, and then you put it on top, and then you hit the sanitize button, and it like sanitizes the whole thing. That's really helpful at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And you notice how I keep bringing up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because you're gonna get woken up around that time. So just understand that. But like, if it's early in the morning, you're tired, you're sleepy, you're working, you've been doing all these things, replying to people, doing invoices, doing work at your job, whatever the case may be, and you can just go in there and sanitize it real quick. That's super helpful. And because if not, what I've had to do in the past is like boil hot water. Like you got to boil hot water on the stove. You get a bunch of hot water and then you put it on the stove, make sure it's really, really hot. And then you put the nozzles in the bottle in there. And then they have these little contraptions that you use that's for like bottle cleaners that's specifically for that, where you like kind of rinse it out like that. And then you got to make sure that it's clean all the way. So that's why the bottle sanitizer is super helpful. But one of the things I'm excited about with this new baby is that in 2025, they got so many better gadgets, you know what I mean, than when I did this 9 years ago. Like when my oldest is 9, right? My daughter is 7. So she had a lot of stuff. I still had a lot of stuff from the first one, but that's still 7 years ago. You know how much baby stuff has come out since then? I didn't even know how much baby stuff had come out since then. So they got all these new gadgets and stuff. They probably got AI baby washers by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we've noticed a 13% contamination on bottle Z. Let me just go ahead and sanitize that for you. Please wait 2 more minutes. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like it's crazy, bro. Just go into the whole side of us really just looking at the baby bottles, and it's so much stuff, man. But having a good swing, having a good bottle sanitizer is a must. Is a must. You know, I've heard a lot about Mozart, like listening to Mozart for the baby to help brain development. And then just making sure you have a good environment too, man. You know what I mean? Like this is a good time within these 9 months, within the next 40 weeks, if you're an expecting dad, to just look around the house and see what you can get rid of, man. Sell some stuff, get rid of some stuff, stuff you've been hanging on to. You need to make some space. If you got glass tables, you're gonna have to baby proof the house, stuff like that. And making sure that the environment is ready for that baby to come home, because at the end of the day, a lot of people start the preparation like 2 weeks before. And with anything, the quality of your preparation will determine the quality of your performance. So I just really wanted to come on here and freestyle some gems that I have been thinking about and been noticing. But I mean, honestly, as a man, when you hear that she's pregnant, you're like, oh man, I gotta get to work. You know what I mean? So I've been working my behind off. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like I've been working my behind off. Like every day, I'm like, I end on E. Like they used to say in basketball, like leave it all on the floor. Like every day, I'm leaving it all on the floor. Like by the time I get ready to go to bed, I'm exhausted, bruh. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like that really shows you to maximize life. You know what I mean? Like that baby pushes you to really up your level, and then the only way for you to evolve and expand is to keep going past those barriers that you had as an individual prior to that. So I'm very grateful for that. It's definitely pushed me to a limit that I knew was possible, but sometimes when you get too comfortable, you have to be put in a situation where you're pushed to grow and evolve, and that's definitely what's happened with me. But yeah, let me know some tips, man. Like, if y'all got any comments, y'all want to let me know any dad hacks, that's what this is about. My youngest is 7 years old. So if y'all just had a baby three months ago and you're like, oh man, Tuma, you got to figure out about this. You right. Bro, I went to go pick up a washing machine the other day. And the washing machine, I took a picture of it. The washing machine had AI on it. Well, it wasn't my washing machine, but I went to go pick up a different washing machine because I was like, I'm not finna, yeah, I'm gonna get a washing machine that works. You know what I mean? That's another good tip. Make sure you have a washing machine because you're gonna do a lot of washing. Baby gonna be throwing up on a blanket, throwing up on a onesie, all kind of stuff. But in any case, you might say, oh man, Tillman, they got this bottle washer, or they have this really cool swing, or they got this really cool, what they call them things, car seat, like, let me know some gems too, because like I said, we in this together. We in this together. Like I just now got the baby on the way for September. So yeah, the baby gonna be here in September. So let me know if you know about any products, any blankets, any swings, any bottle sanitizers. There's anything that can help me on my journey for this new baby that's on the way. Let me know so we can share it. And you know what? You can also share it in Discord. Like drop a comment here, share it in the Discord, so that way other dads can know, and that way we can all be prepared and be the best dads that we can be. And just quite frankly, you don't have to be perfect to be phenomenal. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect by any means, but I know one thing. I get up and I definitely put in that effort. I definitely put in that work to make sure my kids are healthy, make sure they're strong, make sure they're mentally prepared, and make sure I'm raising them in a way that they can grow up and have the tangible and intangible resources in their character to be able to live a life worth living. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, like a lot of us in our 30s and 40s or 50s, a lot of times we reflect on, is the life that we lived worth living? You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a message, because I'm open ears. Like I'm just walking through this journey all over again. Somebody told me the other day that they got some car seats that you can get that literally you just take it off and then you put it onto the stroller, which is dope. But Another big hack that I learned is like finding a good woman. You know, shout out to my fiance. So she's definitely somebody who's supportive. She's definitely encouraging, and just having that in the household when you're walking through this journey, that'll help you with any journey. But yeah, having a good woman that you could trust, that you know is gonna be by your side to be able to support you in that in the ups and the downs is a major hack. That's probably the biggest one because not everybody has that. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're in business, if you're in parenting, or if you're the president of the United States. Like you got to have a support system in this journey. And that's what Phenomenal Fatherhood is all about. Because I know there's some single dads out there. I was a single dad for a while, for some years. So, you know, having that support system is paramount for sure. Like my mom helped me a lot, but she's no longer alive. So that definitely has been a void that has been there. But guess what? You know, my fiance is there to support me. And, you know, she's like boots on the ground, being able to see things on a different level every day. What's up, Phenomenal Fatherhood family? I got my guy Omega in the building. We actually met in the gym. It's the
Yes,
second
sir.
person that's been on the podcast from the gym. But I'm gonna just let you introduce yourself, kind of
Word.
talk about, you know, what inspired you to become a personal trainer,
Okay.
how you got started with the youth, and then we'll just dive right in.
Okay. It's phenomenal fatherhoods, but I'm an uncle, by the way. But I feel like we always are role models, as for children and things of that nature. I'm Omega. I've been in the military. I served 12 years in the military. Retired veteran, honorably. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot from being in the military and just being a team player and watching my father, you know, raise me and my uncles be active in my life, man. It helped me a lot, And getting into training, I was injured myself a lot playing sports, youth sports, and things of that nature, and it got me into rehabbing injuries. But it also just taught me the value of teamwork, on the
Mm,
field and off the field. Just being always understanding the eyes are on you, whether it's fans in the stands, whether it's other fathers and other mothers and other parents. It all touches on each subject, each thing of that nature, man. I just want to pass that game down. That's how you live forever. It's about passing down the lessons and the blessings into the youth. So that's what I got into it for, man. Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
That's
And
it.
then like even with the training the youth and everything like that, like what's been like some of the biggest things that you've noticed from being in the military, being a teammate with different adults, you
Um,
know, and then trying to transfer that mindset. Like what do you think is like the most dominant thing that's missing right now with the youth?
I think the disconnect is the lack of stature. I looked at my father and my uncles as real men, like larger than life, like giants. And I feel like social media has stripped some parents of that, and even they in themselves. You have to feel that presence. I felt like my father and my uncles and people like you and me, we understand our presence and the magnitude of what everything we do factors into what kids see and what they digest. You know what I'm saying? So if we can control the climate and the sense of the thermostat and the temperature in the rooms that we are in, and take an active role in that, we'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of kids are misguided because they don't feel that presence of their parents when they walk in the house. When my pops walked
Mm,
in the house, I knew he was coming in. I double checked my chores. Time is of the essence. Let me do what I got to do because he gonna cause some problems when he come here, and that's his right. Because he paid for the roof over my head. He pays for the clothes on my back. He pays for the food that goes in my stomach. You know what I'm saying?
yup.
And my mother shouldn't have to do too much because she cares and she nourishes us as a father, as a child too, right? Mom shouldn't be the one stressed to the max. As a man, you got to take on that role at all times. The switch is never off. That's where the fitness comes into it. If I can handle the stress of more weight, of getting up when I'm sore, I can handle the rigors of life. I can handle the storms within my home. And if we can galvanize that and glue that together better, we'll be all right as family, as men and women, both of minorities and other races, as a whole. We need each other, man. When I was coming up, a man could correct me because he knew
Hmm.
it was an overall standard on it. Just like a
Yep.
bench press. We know the standard of a bench press. If we qualified in that field and we raised by other men, we know what it looked like. We know what it smells like. We know what it sounds like. I don't even have my father didn't even have to look. Just like with you with your kids. When you don't hear no noise, you know it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So if I see you working out and I don't see you straining your face a little bit or making no grunts, that weight in is heavy. You can take on more in your life. And if you can take on more in the gym, you can take on more in life. You know what I mean? And over time, 100 pounds start feeling like 50.
Yep.
225 start getting 10 reps. 315 start going from a PR to that's what I'm working with now. Same way I go from 1 kid, 2 kids, right? Just like you just said, you coming up on 4 kids, right? Hey man, you got to diversify the plate even more, right? That
Yep.
mean I got to get a little bit more extensive with what I'm doing. Even within the gym, I got to get a little bit more on top of my time. You know, a lot of people don't understand the efficiency of exercise and the efficiency of in life. We leave a lot of time on the table scrolling on our phones, and if the kids are scrolling and the parents are scrolling, the kids are learning from the internet, and anything can be on the internet, you know. But I know what I said, just like you know what you said, right, Mr. Tillman? You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you have to have a universal understanding. You know, we have to get back on the communities being on the same page. We all can believe something different, but the truth is the truth. What works is what works. You know, let's not be there to be different and always try what don't even work for us. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You can get off your path just by trying to find something too different. Hey man, the wheel been the wheel on the cars. They ain't square yet. The motors might be electric, some of them might be gas, but the wheel still turns. You know what I mean? You still need a transmission. You still need a chassis. You still need 4 tires standard. 2 tires on the bike. They all round, right or wrong.
Right.
Let's not get no square parenting and no square working out and say this is gonna roll us down the hill. You're gonna be stuck there. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that, man. You know, it's had to be a universal standard that we all have to have enough understanding and wherewithal to know that's the standard, bro.
Yeah, and the thing I love about it is that like I think that in this age of individuality or whatever
Yeah.
they want to call it,
Yeah.
like so many people have been trying to be they're so busy trying to be different, they
Yeah.
completely ignore the past of what has worked in the past. And it's
Thank you.
just like if we could actually merge those two. I actually heard a dude say this. He was like the young kids, they got the new style, the older ones got the wisdom.
Yes.
But if you can merge those two
Yes.
together, that would be super
Yes.
dope. Like one of the things I really liked about you was that you were saying that in the gym, like it's not just about me working them out, but it's about I try to really maximize that time to improve their mind.
Exactly.
That's another rhyme, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Boss.
talk about some of the ways that you do that.
So what I like to do is just like a gangster will go on a mission or go on a drill, right? That's a negative outcome. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go to prison. Somebody's gonna get killed. Somebody's gonna die. Somebody's mother's gonna hurt. If I bring you in that gym, I can hand you a 5 pound weight, and just off your integrity and you 1 rep, I can see if it was enough for you, too much for you, or right in the sweet spot. Just off of your body language, I ain't gotta talk to you. You can say, "Oh yeah, it was hard," but that weight came up so quick and you dropped it right back down, bro. It wasn't nothing to you. Grab them fives, grab them tens. I can take you deep out in that water and see how bad you really want to swim in a safe manner, in a safe mindset. That's attacking your mind because the mind controls the muscle. The muscle don't control the mind. You see what I'm saying? So it's like nonverbal communication. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your effort. I can see it in how much perspiration, how much sweat coming off your body. You know, and if you're going to show up tomorrow, whether you sore or not, get up. I want to see you tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? That's how you gut check somebody's mentality. I think too much now, we let people say one thing, like you said, and they just go with it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be too different. You don't have to do that, man. You know, let's see what your mind is really like. Because if you can toughen up your mind, you're going to be all right. Physically, you repair yourself faster physically than you do mentally. It's some people still walking around with things that happened 10 years ago.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Man, that been over with. Let that go. Let that lady go, man. Let that marriage that ain't work out go, man. Let that man that's in your life now, let that woman that's in your life now be a mother, man.
Yep.
Let that father be a father. And just because that ain't my kid like me, I'm an uncle. But I treat all kids like they my own. I treat them all with love because it's the mindset that I have that knows that the truth don't care who tell it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's all starts in the mind. You know, that's where it starts at, the mindset, man. And you have to reach out and you have to be willing to go outside of yourself, man. You know, to really tap into somebody's mindset. You have to take a look into their shoes, into their pathway. You know, somebody may have never told them they can do 10 pounds. That's why I get a lot of that in the gym. I never even tried that. Nobody even told me. Nobody even showed me. Nobody even pushed me to be better. So you stuck right there.
That's what the youth telling you?
Yes. You know, and some of it comes down to not allowing your kids to be independent. Allow some room for growth. Quit telling them what they can and can't do. Allow them to show you what they're capable of first. And then you go back and reassess it. Because kids love when you give them an opportunity to make a mistake and control your temper as an adult and as a coach and as a trainer. Don't you give up on them because you trying to develop their ability to not give up. And you crushing their mindset and the mentality is stall them right at birth. It all starts right in the womb, man. All the way up. What you continuously held when you was failing. You got more in you tell me. You got more in you, man. It's more in there. It takes somebody you trust and believe in telling you that, not somebody that's gonna tell you down. See, and when you come in the gym with me, in the mindset is, oh, I'm gonna tell you down, but I'm gonna build you up. Same way. There's no difference.
Yes, sir. Well, just real quick, let the people know where they can find you. And yeah.
You can find me at the.omegafit on Instagram, Walter Nix on Facebook. You can also find me at Brainiac Gym. That's on Louetta Road. You can Google us. You can look for us on the maps or whatever, and we ain't hard to find. Check me out on Instagram, DM me. Man, I'm looking forward to doing some more of this. And, each one teach one, man. Each one reach one and each one teaches one, man. And the real will always prevail. Don't get too far from that. Trust.
Yes, sir. Well, there you have it, people. Be sure to check out. We're definitely going to have a part 2 with Omega. Go check out all of his social medias. My biggest takeaway is about the mind being able to, or the physical being able to recover faster than the mind. So let that stuff go that's holding you back, because at the end of the day, you could be so much higher and be so much better for your children if you just let that stuff go. So I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you being on.
You know it,
we'll
man.
have another
For
time
sure.
to get through.
Fail forward.
Yeah, fail forward all day long. Shout out to John C. Maxwell. And we'll see you on the next Friday.